That's one you slut out.
That's one.
Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I am Izzy, joined by a Spin More X. I didn't want to do this question. I'm not ready for this question. I kind of don't want to do this question.
All right, we don't got to do the
We got a
question.
special guest.
We don't got to do the question.
But we tease it.
Pistons.
Lions, baby.
Is that what you want?
You got
Here we
more
go.
Lions.
No, I mean, I'm ready to
Pistons.
talk Tigers
question.
whenever.
Tigers.
This
The
is
other
a
Lions is the question.
heavyweight question. Heavy.
Do you believe the Detroit Lions will win the Super Bowl
Yes.
this year?
Maybe not. You want to break me down? I'm scared. All right. No, I don't think they have a good as chance of winning the Super Bowl this year as they did last year. I don't think that's crazy to say. If I realistically could only pick one team in the league to win the Super Bowl, I don't think the Lions would be in my top three.
I'm with you. That's why I've been avoiding this question for it feels like a week now, but
And that's just this year. You got some learning to do, man. You got new coordinators. You got a new offensive line. You got injuries that you're getting guys back from, and
which plays a factor too is move forward. Like
I think they have just as good a chance as anybody else. Like if you put a gun to my head and say pick one team to win the Super Bowl, I'd probably say the Chiefs, just because Patrick Mahomes. But
yeah.
I mean, do you think the Lions can win the Super Bowl? Do you think the Ravens can win the Super Bowl? Do you think sure, I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Am I going to put my mortgage on the Lions to win the Super Bowl this year? No. I was willing to do that last year, and obviously the injuries happened, and that was derailed. So, no, I'm
Same thing.
I think they're going to win a Super Bowl with this regime. I think Jared Goff will win a Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions. I do.
No, he doesn't.
If you put a gun to my head and told me if they win the Super Bowl, I would say no. I would say no, they're not going to this year.
June 22nd last year, I told you guys, and I'm the guy who said I don't think they could do it with Jared Goff. I think they were going to do it last year. Like, spending was mere mortgage on it. I was there last year. This year, yeah, I'm not. I can't. I want to see it in action.
Gotta stay healthy.
Staying
Staying healthy is the biggest one.
It's got nothing to do with the schedule either. I don't want people
No.
to say, it has nothing to do.
No, you can beat anybody if you bring your best on any given day. The Lions can beat any other team in the league. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter Chiefs, Ravens, whoever. If you bring your best, you're talented enough. You have good enough players. You have a good enough roster to beat anybody playing your best if you're healthy. I think they can overcome the drop off in play from their offensive line with the sheer talent of their roster.
Oh, it's interesting.
But they gotta stay healthy, man. You have to fucking stay healthy. The reason the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year was not because Saquon Barkley was a god or because their coordinators finally put it together, because it was because they had 21 of 22 day one starters playing in that Super Bowl. If you tell me right now the Detroit Lions will have 21 of 22 day one starters, and including Ali McNeil to be the one that wasn't the day one starter, healthy in the playoffs, I'd say they'd win the Super Bowl. But I can't. I'm scared of injury now.
I'm scared.
I'm fucking gun shy of injury. That shit makes me real nervous.
I'm even beyond injury, man. I'm like, if I had to go through the Philadelphia Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, and I watched what they did to the Super Bowl champion reigning Chiefs back to back with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and I have questions about my interior offensive line specifically.
Yeah.
I
But you also look at
got to see it in action to get comfortable with it.
You look at what the Rams did to the Eagles, and they should have beat them if it wasn't for Kyron Williams. You beat the Rams past 2 times you played them.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I know matchups make fights, but
Styles make matches.
I think the Lions can go bang for bang with the Eagles. I do. I just do.
The
and
Lions?
the defensive line is not with the Eagles. Yeah, if they're healthy, the Lions could go bang for bang with the Eagles.
I don't
think their
what?
defensive line is as deep as it was the past 2 years.
Against our offensive line as is right now.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think
you're
you can
tripping.
I think you can overcompensate. So you think the Eagles are an insurmountable foe?
You got to see it right now. Yeah, I cannot say the Detroit Lions can go bang for bang with the Philadelphia Eagles right now, knowing their strength is the defensive line, specifically the interior. When we have complete question marks, specifically at the interior,
Yeah.
and when JG does his worst, struggling at the interior, I can't. Say
I think
that,
they
no.
can game plan around it. I do.
Well-
If it's really as bad as you expect it, I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are expecting it to be. I don't think it's going to be as good.
Yeah,
as
I'm
it
not
was
saying it's
at
going
the
to be
peak.
bad. I'm just saying you can't say we go bang for bang with the Philadelphia
I think
Eagles
you can
right
make
now.
up for it with it's not like the Rams had an elite interior offensive line last year. Their offensive line was not great. And obviously having Matt Stafford who can escape the pocket and make off-platform throws helps that. But if you know you're going up against the Eagles, you know their interior offensive line or defensive line is going to overwhelm yours. You can game plan around that. And I think with the level of playmaker you have on offense, you can out-scheme that lapse.
What makes our offense is its efficiency. It's just very well regimented. That's
This is
why
a
Jared
new
Goff
offense.
had the best passing percentage he ever had in his career last year. They're all well within tune. That's not the situation right now. You cannot say they go bang for bang with the Philadelphia Eagles as is. Now, as the season goes on, once we see it, I get a little bit comfortable with it, probably get a little more familiar with it, have a conversation like that. As of right now, no, I can't. And that's why, like you said, right now, gun in my head today, they're probably not the team I'm picking.
Look, I'm glad.
Doesn't mean it's not possible.
I'm glad that Spencer is saying that he might pick three other teams above the Lions right now, because I just looked it up, and 2 of the last 4 Super Bowl champions were the 4th highest odds or lower.
Oh,
and
shit.
you can actually, if you go to that 5th year, it was the I believe it was Tampa Bay, right? 2020. Yeah, Tampa Bay, and they were tied with 3 other teams, so they were anywhere from 3 to 6. So I mean, look, the Lions are in that range of teams that, like Spencer said, if things go right, this team can win. I would say that, yes, they had a better shot last year, but that doesn't mean that their shot this year is over. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, and we've seen that time and time again in the NFL, especially with the playoffs being one game. That one game was not a perfect encapsulation of Jared Goff, but yet that one game represents that entire season. So like that's just what it is. It's one game after one game after one game. I think the Lions will this year, they will be a team that is peaking right with their young offensive line, with the additions that they have. I would like to assume, I get it to be scared of the injury bug, but I would like to assume that this year the Lions, are going to be peaking instead of regressing at the time of the playoffs.
For sure. Like, they're going to get better as it goes on. They're young guys. They're going to have to figure it out.
New coordinators, all of that,
So as much as I love what I saw Christian Mahogany, again, it was against the Chicago Bears. Yeah. I still like him a lot. I think Tate will be able to run the ball. It's just the passing situation that we're going to need to see. And that given specific scenario against the Eagles, I'm not going big. But everybody else, we're there. Like, we're a good team.
And I agree with Chris, and I agree with Runyon in here. He says right now is irrelevant. And I know what you're saying. Obviously, there are question marks.
And that's why I'm saying right now I wouldn't be able to say that.
I believe in the development of these kids, and I believe when we are at the spot where we would be seeing the Eagles, where you are, in the playoffs or in an NFC Championship game, and this line is battle-tested and cohesive by then, I still don't think they're going to be better than the Eagles' defensive line, but I think they'll be good enough for the rest of our team to make up for it. And if everybody's healthy, I like the Lions' odds.
Mm-hmm. Definitely something we have to figure out in season, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. And they report on the 19th. Hopefully get some of those guys in here before then, specifically some guys in the secondary. I'll let you guys coagulate on who.
I think you've seen this team bounce back from adversity time after time again. And if I had to bet on one team, am I picking the Lions? Is that the question right now, or is it will the Lions win the Super Bowl?
Will the
like
Lions
gun to your
win the
head.
Super Bowl?
Who wins the Super Bowl this year? Are the Detroit Lions coming out of your mouth?
I'm probably picking one of the
AFC teams.
God, the Eagles are a powerhouse too. This question sucks.
Are the Lions?
No, I'm not picking the Lions.
Are the Lions? Are you
not.
picking a team ahead of the Lions in the NFC, not named the Eagles?
No, hell no. No, I mean I think it's the Eagles and the Ravens is where I lean. I think those are the 2 best teams in the NFL right now.
And then honestly, if I want to flirt with any other team in the NFC, I hate to say this, might be the Commanders. But again, I want to see. I think JD was phenomenal last year. I really do. And we're going to rank them today as well. I got to see his second year as well. The way I have reservations about my own team, I have reservations about JD as well. Let's see him do it again sophomore year. Do I think he will? Yes, but it's all something else you got to see. So right now, it really is just the Eagles and the NFC. But I'm not talking about winning the NFC. I'm talking about winning the Super.
Yeah,
And
that's
to me,
true.
And they've clearly.
But if you get there, You got a 50-50 chance.
And they clearly don't feel rushed to make some big move. And Brad Holmes knows that. So we're not saying anything, new that Brad Holmes probably wouldn't say. He's not jeopardizing everything to be all in this season, which he hasn't done, which me personally, I've wanted him to make some bigger moves at times.
Yeah.
He has chosen not to do that. He didn't want to upset the locker room, and he hasn't wanted to go out and get another big dog, big fish.
To
And
be
even
fair,
if it is for a season, he hasn't chosen to do that.
Well, let's be fair though. He did try to get Max Crosby. He did try to get Myles Garrett. They just weren't for sale. And
how's Hendrickson doing? Is he still? Is Hendrickson still pissed off in Cincy?
They're not getting him.
They're not getting him.
He wants a contract.
That's where I'm at with. I just don't believe they upgraded enough. They've just lost talent. When it comes down to Ragnow and All-Pro center, 2 top-of-the-line coaches, coordinators, that is, and they lost to Darius Smith, as big or little as you think that it is. I believe it's a bigger loss than people are stating.
I want to reiterate something, too. Shout out to Sound Kayak in the Wood Sports chat. This is exactly how I feel, by the way, too. I am hyped for the season. It's nice to have a good team to watch. They're going to be good for a while with the youth. I'm excited for the challenge of these good games this season.
And this is where this team has performed at its best.
Yeah.
Is when their back's against the wall, when they don't have all the price, the hype, when teams are counting them out, when players or different media are counting them out. This has brought the best out of these guys in a lot of different situations.
And that's where you want to see them. If you truly think your team is the best, then you want to see them against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes, you do.
Then you want to see them against Joe Burrow. If you think they're going to win the Super Bowl, those are the teams you want to see them against. And then you truly find out where your team's at. One of my favorite games 2 years ago was the Cowboys game because they were the only game above 500 on our schedule for a minute. So I want to see where we're at. If we struggled, ball to me, without the fucking of the referee, we won that game. So then I knew, okay, our team's good. We got a legit team. This is the exact schedule I want. And as a fan, I'm all here for it.
Yeah.
This is simply a question of gun to the head
Tom
who wins
Izzo
Super Bowl
schedule.
this year. Yeah.
Get your licks in before the real games start.
Exactly.
If you predict the spread in Baltimore, Lions at Baltimore.
Minus 6.5.
I was thinking at least 5.5.
Yeah.
Predict the spread, Lions at Philly.
Minus 3.5.
3.5.
I'd probably go higher right now.
I'll probably go 4.5 for Baltimore. I'll go 4.5.
Oh, it's already up 4.5 for Baltimore, Justin?
No, he's just saying that's what he thinks it would be.
Oh.
I would probably go 4.5 for Baltimore, and then probably 3.5 for Philly.
Yeah. I'm excited for the season to see where our team is.
At Arrowhead, it's we have all.
And this is a projection of
minus 2.5.
And we know what Brad Holmes can do. This is also a projection of
I like our odds better.
when shit falls a little bit, can you rebuild it? Because if you continue rocking after all that shit like that, that's fire.
Yeah.